Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Hafez, and I have a quite a long piece to share with you. So let's get right into it. This starts with a question. The question that this starts with is, how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? When you look at yourself, what do you see? Honey, a very good morning. Celine, good morning. Sunmary, good morning. Charlene, good morning. Annalie, good morning. Dylan, good morning. I love starting my morning right here with you. How do you see yourself? Do you realize that what you see when you look at yourself is most likely to be a story that you were told over and over and over and over and over and over, and you get my point, right? Danae, very good morning. Great seeing you. How do you even know what your name is? It was repeated to you from all around you so much that every cell in your body started believing that this is who you are. And if you so easily formed a belief about your name, how will you know if anything that you believe about yourself is true and not just a story that you were taught? Anami, a very good morning. Hello. Colette, good morning. Awesome having all of you here. Stefan, good morning. After all, if a different name was repeated around you, you would have a completely different belief about yourself, wouldn't you? You have to understand that how you were taught to see yourself was a reflection of the beliefs of the people around you and not a representation of actual truth. I recently watched a 5-year-old boy draw a picture and show it to his mother, who, with all the good intention in the world, proceeded to point out to him everything that was wrong with what he had drawn. This happens innocently in another 100 ways every day for about 2 decades of his life. Is it any wonder that this little boy grows up to have a deep, unspoken belief that everything about me is wrong? You will never rise above the view that you have of yourself. If you don't upgrade the way you see yourself, nothing changes. But know this, when you change the way you see yourself, everything changes. Hafez says, love sometimes gets tired of speaking sweetly and wants to rip to shreds all of your erroneous notions of the truth that make you fight within yourself, dear one, and with others, causing the world to weep on too many fine days. The beloved sometimes wants to do us a great favor, hold us upside down and shake out all the nonsense. Linda, very good morning. Great seeing you. As I've already said, I love this part of Hafez's work. There's always a bit of mischief in there. As much as it's a serious topic, he's never too far from humor. The beloved sometimes wants to do us a great favor, hold us upside down and shake out all of the nonsense. Hafez says, remember for just 1 minute of the day, it would be best to try looking upon yourself more as God does, for she knows your true royal nature. Can you remember for just 1 minute of every day to look at yourself as God does? The last thought from Hafez is, I wish I could show you the astonishing light of your own being. I wish I could show you the astonishing light of your own being. The view that you have of yourself was imprinted on you by a collection of people who were reacting in their turn from what they learned, how they were raised. You were taught to see yourself, or how you were taught to see yourself had very little to do with truth and was much more based on the beliefs and fears of the people around you. I wish that I could show you the astonishing light of your own being. What if these were the words repeated around you as you grew up? What if that is what you were fed every day? I wish I could show you the light of your own being. Would you see yourself differently? Here's the thing though, it's not too late to change the story. It's not too late to decide to speak to yourself differently. Use different words when you see yourself. Your work is to decide whether you accept this old view of yourself, and if the answer is no, then do the upgrades needed. When you change the way you see yourself, everything changes. Today's meditation is an opportunity to create an updated view of how you see yourself. Our meditation today is called A Sense of Self, and we'll invite some of our inner children to come and sit with us for a conversation. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to dive deep inside and spend a bit of time within you. For now, as you breathe in, fill up the balloon inside your belly and feel yourself expand from that place, outwards in all directions. Feel expansion happen through your body as you inhale and rise. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and falling with every exhale, Today we are inviting some of our inner children to come and sit and breathe with us. The examples that I'll use today, and please remember, you can always use your own examples. You have a better idea of what you're dealing with right now. Otherwise, just use my examples and come along for the ride. The three inner children we are inviting is something I guess we could call the hurt part of you, or a part of you that sometimes feels hurt. We all have at least some version of that. The hurt part. The second inner child that we're inviting doesn't often feel like a child. This is the inner critic. The part of you that speaks to you in a very critical voice. And we all have some version of that. And then the scared part. A part of you that sometimes feels full of fear. These are the inner children we are inviting to sit and breathe with us today. As you rise and fall with your inhale and exhale, just imagine for a moment you could see them rise and fall as they breathe along with you. It wouldn't be strange if perhaps some of you have the experience that some of these inner children say, no, I don't want to. I don't want to sit and breathe with you. If you have that experience, please know how normal that is too. Here we are though. We're opening the space for these three inner children to sit with us. Let them know that you are here to listen. Let them know that you are here to understand. And then place yourself in the best position to see them. I'll ask you perhaps a few more times to be open to seeing a picture of them. And it is okay if you don't. We don't always get a clear image when we try and visualize something. I'm just asking you to be open to it. What would the scared part of you look like? What would the inner critic look like? What would the hurt part of you look like? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together. And as we stretch and move and adjust our bodies, we are once again inviting these three inner children to move and stretch along with us. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left, and also lean your upper body over to the right. Feel yourself leaning into your back muscles. Feel those back muscles stretch. And very, very gently lean into those edges. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can move or stretch or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we are able to right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy. Followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I remind you of these 3 inner children that we invited to sit with us today. The examples are the hurt part, a part of you that sometimes feels hurt. The inner critic, part of you that sometimes speaks to you incredibly harshly. And the scared part, a part of you that sometimes feels gripped in fear. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remember to welcome them. Tell them they are welcome here. We are here to listen. We are here to understand. Take your next big breath. We turn our attention first to the hurt part. A part of you that perhaps sometimes feels wounded by things that have happened. Sometimes recent things, sometimes really old things. And when you feel hurt, when you feel wounded, you likely recognize that the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel when this part of you is triggered are very similar every time you feel hurt. It's possible that every time you feel hurt, you have the same thoughts on repeat and feel the same emotions on repeat again. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, we're asking this hurt part to speak. Be reminded of what it feels like when you feel hurt. Be reminded of how your thoughts are when you feel hurt. Take your next big breath. Open yourself to the possibility of getting an idea of what the hurt part of you looks like or might look like. And again, it's okay if you don't get a clear image. Just open yourself to getting some kind of a sense of the hurt part in you. And as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, I want you to ask this hurt part a direct question. The question is, when you feel so hurt, when these thoughts go through your mind, what is it that you are afraid will happen? What is it that you are afraid will happen? See if you can ask the hurt part this question and open yourself to whatever answer might come. Take your next big breath. For right now, we're not trying to change how the hurt part feels. We're just understanding why it feels the way it feels. Take a moment to thank the wounded part of you for being here, showing up, being seen. It takes courage to be seen. We'll turn our attention now to the inner critic, the part of you that sometimes speaks to you really harshly. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how those conversations go. What are the things you say to yourself when you speak to yourself harshly? How are the ways you judge yourself and criticize yourself? And while you do, see if you can get an image of what the inner critic might look like as it speaks to you in that way. Take your next big breath. I want you to turn towards the inner critic and have a direct conversation in which we'll ask a question. But first, say to the inner critic that I get the sense that you're trying to prevent something bad from happening. What is the bad thing that you're trying to prevent? As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, ask the inner critic this question: what is the bad thing you're trying to prevent? And just listen, see if you can hear an answer coming back. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank the inner critic for being here, for showing up, for being seen. We know it takes courage to be seen. We'll turn our attention now to the scared part of you that sometimes feels full of fear. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of what your thoughts are like when you feel scared. What are the thoughts that are on repeat every time you feel gripped in fear? Take your next big breath. And then turning towards the scared part, asking a question directly. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, the question is, when you feel so scared, when you have those moments where the fear is really big, what is your deep desire for me? Even in the moments that you are scared, what is it that you want for me? Ask the question and be open to an answer. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank the scared part for being here, for showing up, for being seen and heard. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. And again, we are inviting these inner children to take these breaths along with us. And also, where do they want to be while we take these breaths? Do they want to sit next to you? Do they want to sit on your lap? Wherever it is that they want to be, let them go there. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. When you are able to take a step back, look at and listen to the hurt part of you, the inner critic, the scared part of you. If you're able to create a space in which you can actually listen, then you are clearly not being the hurt part. You're not being the inner critic, and you're not being the scared part. In this moment where you take a step back, what have you stepped into? What part of you have you stepped into that has the ability to see and listen to the hurt and the fears that you carry in you? I believe we could put many labels on this part. We could call it soul. We could call it higher self. We could call it the divine in you. Whatever we want to call it, this is clearly the best part of you, the strongest part of you. And we all have that in us. This part of us that can be the observer and has the wisdom to listen. The more you step into this part in a simple exercise like this one, the more you practice being this part of you, the more easily you will live from this part of you. We don't do better because we get involved in fighting with the hurt part and the critic and the scared part. We do better when we simply step into the part of ourselves that can listen. I want to read to you one more time today's message by Hafez. I love the humor in his wisdom. It says, love sometimes gets tired of speaking sweetly and wants to rip to shreds all your erroneous notions of the truth that make you fight within yourself, dear one, and also with others, causing the world to weep on too many fine days. The beloved sometimes wants to do us a great favor, hold us upside down and shake out all the nonsense. He says, remember, for just 1 minute of the day, it would be best to try looking upon yourself more as God does. For she knows your true royal nature. And his last thought is, I wish I could show you the astonishing light of your own being. When you take a step backwards, when you step into your own light, when you can take a look at and listen to the hurt parts, the inner critic, the scared parts, I don't think we get closer to looking at ourselves through the eyes of God than this, stepping into your light and just having a space for the real human parts of you to be heard and seen. Keep stepping into your light. Don't get involved with in the wrestling match with any part of you. Create a space of understanding. Just step into your light, and slowly, slowly, you'll start living from your light. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this journey. A journey of getting to know all the old parts of me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to listen. How to not get involved in a wrestling match with any part of me, but just listen. Open a space and observe. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for getting to know what I'm stepping into in these moments that I can create a space to listen. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the practice to step into the best part of me, the strongest part of me, my soul, my light, whatever we want to call it. Thank you for slowly, slowly becoming more grounded in the best part of me. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on this journey with us. That's a beautifully long comment, honey. I'm going to get into it just a little bit later. Vivian, a very good morning. Awesome seeing you. Thank you, Charlene. Hi, Anne-Marie. Thank you. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Serene. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Anami. Thank you, Annalie. whoever else is on our journey today. Good morning, Colette. Awesome seeing you. It can become very easy to create a space to listen to all the hurt parts within us. I know that it might not start out easy, but it does become easier. And in that way, it becomes easier to embody the wisest part of us. Wishing you well on this journey. Lots of love to every one of you. Mwah. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.